Okay, I used to start my speeches with the word disruption. Disruption is a word that has been following me since I was a child. And believe me, in the 70s, in Rio de Janeiro, to be a disruptive boy during the military dictatorship was not a good compliment. Teachers were always calling me disruptive, and my parents were worried about it, and I didn't like the word. But nowadays, the word has another content. And of course, when I come to talk about disruption and talking about smart cities, technology is the big disruption. But today I would like to do it in a different way. I would like to invite you to think about our planet. Imagine this sound is the sound of our planet growing, breathing. Doesn't matter what is your belief, our planet has 4.5 billion years. It took 1 billion years to start popping up life in the planet. And we are here today exactly to talk about life. Human beings like us just came 200,000 years ago. It means 0.005% of the whole time of the Earth. And for sure, life and us, we are the bigger or the largest disruption we ever seen before in the history of our planet. We start growing, and in the last century, we put it 6 billion people in the planet. We came from 1916, from 1.8 to this year, 7.4 billion people. It means that in 100 years, every year, more than 150,000 people are born a day. And of course, this brings a lot of problems for us, and people started to live or started to become more urban. People started migrating from small cities to big cities looking for a better life. From 2015 to 2020, we are forecasting that 370,000 people will be migrating every day, leaving their cities, going to big cities. We already have a lot of problems in our cities. Imagine putting these people inside the cities. Considering the problems that we have already nowadays, mobility is one of the biggest ones. Just in the United States, we estimate that we spend or waste $121 billion every year just because traffic congestion, not counting the time we lose there. But still, we can survive with traffic congestion. If you come to health, according to Lancet, 95% of the world population is sick, has at least one kind of disease. I'm talking about 7 billion people with health problems. I just checked it this morning. This year, in 5 months, already 20 million people died, and 10% were children under 5 years old. We need to solve this problem. And talking about children, if you think about education, last year, UNICEF told us that 57 million children were out of school. It's almost the whole population of Italy. If you wanted to solve this problem this year, we are supposed to be building at least 100,000 schools. We don't have time to do this. We don't have resources to do this. And probably in the cities, you don't have space to do this. So it means that we have to solve the problem without using the normal matrix that we are using for the last 100 years. And the good news is there are solutions. And these solutions are already being done. In the 80s, in the United States, urban planners started to apply technology to try to mitigate these problems. This idea to make the cities smarter was called smart cities. If you think about these last 35 years that we had smart cities, you must understand that nowadays the concept is a little bit different. If you want a precise definition about smart cities, we must have at least 5 elements in the definition. First one, of course, it's about technology. Technology is the big driver. Information communication technology is what is disrupting cities. Second, it must be citizen-centered. Third, whatever we do, we must focus in making our lives better. That's why we want to do smart cities. We want to have a better life. And taking into consideration all these changes we are having now, smart cities must come into this perspective of the new economies, creative economy, sharing economy, you name it, Uber, Airbnb, 3D printing, everything is disruption that comes from this concept of new economy. And the good news, smart city also is supposed to solve the problem of the city's resilience. So it doesn't matter if you have a big city that is having this problem of getting people, or also small cities that are losing people to big cities and are becoming ghost cities. Both of them can get this concept of smart city. It seems that's quite clear now why we need smart cities. But for the last 30 years at least, I say that 5 years we started to change a little bit the perspective. For the last 30 years, we have been doing this in the wrong way. Technology was the main point, and we did a lot of projects. And some of these projects was not successful because they didn't take into consideration people. We have urban problems because of people, and we are developing smart solutions that must be oriented to people. Again, otherwise we don't solve the problem. I would like to share with you some smart cases that are successful cases that come or that we can see technology applied beyond just the final use of technology. We have results that comes from or that comes over beyond the technology. First case, Hyperloop. Elon Musk, 4 years ago, the Tesla guy, gave us a challenge to the world. He wanted to disrupt massive transportation. He wanted to do in a different way to solve the problem that we have in transporting people and goods. A company called Hyperloop came with one idea, simple idea, basic idea. Why not putting a capsule inside a tube, take out the air, we don't have resistance, and then we make people and goods to travel through these tubes. We can reach 1,200 kilometers per hour. Just to give you an idea, the commercial jets, the faster one we have nowadays, just fly 900 kilometers per hour. Can you imagine how it will disrupt our life in the future? I'm not just talking about long distance. Imagine short distance. Imagine London, for example. We have 5 airports in London. It takes more than 2 hours to go from Heathrow to Gatwick. With this system, we can do it in 5 minutes. Second one, Melbourne. I was there just 2 weeks ago, speaking also, and I got this fantastic project. Melbourne is already listed as one of the smartest and better cities to live in the world. What they did, they have 7,000 trees, they started mapping these trees, and in order to make it easier the maintenance, they gave for each tree one email, and asked the citizens, if you see a problem in the tree, send us an email. Citizens started to interact with the system, and a surprise came. People are people. Doesn't matter if we became technological, we come back to our roots that we are connected to the nature. So, the great question, I guess most part of you are not from Rome, you come from small cities also in Italy. How to smart up our cities? First 2, sharpen your pitch. Every city has a DNA. Don't use benchmarking just to replicate programs or projects that will not work. Take your project as a startup. Develop 3 to 5 slides in a storytelling concept presentation and try to sell your city in 5 minutes. If you get it, you are at least in a good position to start a smart city. Second, make it simple. I'm a very lucky guy. For the last 12 months, I have been traveling to almost 20 countries. I visited 32 smart city projects. Everywhere is the same thing. When I arrive, the mayor comes with a very big, thick book with techniques and theories and all the projects of smart cities. And they haven't even started yet because they don't have money. Make it simple. Why to do a master plan if you don't even know if you're going to have money to execute it? Do a concept design. Communicate with the people, ask what citizens want. Very easy nowadays. Use apps. Third tool, don't ask how big is your budget to do a smart city. Ask what your city can offer to the partners. The tool is find partners. I'll give you an example. My hometown, Rio de Janeiro, we developed a very nice project, state-of-the-art IBM command center, and then we realized that we just had 800 cameras. How to monitor the traffic with 800 cameras? Our CDO flew to United States in 2013, did the agreement with a company that was starting to become famous, Waze, social GPS. Now we have all the data from Waze inside our command center. From one day to the other day, 800 cameras became 1,300,000 users communicating with the city hall. How much did it cost for us? Zero. For Waze, zero. And I heard last week, I was in Malaysia after Australia, I heard that Waze is doing the same project now in Malaysia also. Of course, these new companies, these new startups, they want to interact. They want to co-create. Co-creation, it's an important concept in the new economy. So, what we listen is, to do smart cities, we need to develop a very good environment for PPPs, public-private partnerships. It's completely right. Who is paying and who will pay for smart cities is the private sector. They want the customers. The customers are the citizens. What I'm proposing now is we need to add one more P and make it wider, this concept. So adding people in the concept. People want to co-create with you. Maybe people even want to invest. Well, we are talking about crowdsourcing nowadays. I would like to invest my money in a company that's making better our life. So, I think this is the new concept and this is the new way that we're going to do smart cities. And it's my deep belief that smart cities can be a real laboratory to develop, test, and refine the new models of life that we are talking here today, but not just life, a smarter life, and hopefully a happier life. Thank you very much.